Where the heck's the nature walk? Of course, the wind's not blowing when I'm filming the tree, bush, or whatever it is.
It's the kind of stuff you don't hang on the wall. stuff you dream, that stuff you feel. It's the kind of stuff you reach for when you fall.
Town Marshal. Printing press. Linotype machine. It's like a printing press, but it's not.
Steep mountains with very tight turns, like on a logging operation or a coal mine. In fact, we found this old steam locomotive abandoned in a coal mine in Dixiana, Virginia in 1959. That's why we named it the Dixiana. You're going to hear a little bit of Morse code from your locomotive's whistle. You're going to hear long, long, short, long. This is Morse code for the letter Q. This started way back in England when the Queen used to ride trains around. They blow this particular signal to get everyone out of the way. But it worked so well at gathering everyone's attention, it was adopted worldwide and still used to this day by modern railroads. Back every time a train crosses the road, we have Morse code. Every single time a train crosses the road, day or night, we have to do that legally. And that's not because we feel like it, because most of us don't. It's because of the Federal Railroad Administration mandating that all trains do that. And so basically, if you look at your train tracks like me, one, I'm sorry. But two, the next time you get woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning by a freight train blasting through your town, please try not to get angry at us crew, because, you know, we're just trying to keep our jobs. You should be more angry at the Trestle Railroad Administration. That's where you send those angry letters, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in just a moment, our train will be entering a location on this railroad known as Big Trees, because some of the largest trees left in this entire valley are in this next area. Scientifically, these large trees are known as sequoias. But we all know about the coastal redwoods. And they're very, very tall. The tallest tree recorded to this day is a coastal redwood tree, known as the Hyperion Giant. That measures over 3. Tall. You'd think they'd have some nice deep roots on them to keep them from falling over, right? Well, they don't. The roots on these trees only go down about 8 to 15 feet. Those roots then turn upward. The surface of the forest floor spread up to 200 feet in every direction around them, interlocking with all the other trees around them as well. Okay, foundation for these incredibly tall trees. Followed on your stern width. Now the reason why those roots are so shallow is the same reason why the leaves on redwood trees look like little needles. It's also the same reason why the coastal redwood tree only exists 2 to 10 miles from the coast of the Pacific Ocean. It all has to do with the fog. Every single night, fog rolls in on these magnificent trees. It'll be absorbed into the needle-like leaves of the fibrous bark. But the excess fog will then collect up on those needle-like leaves, where it can easily drip down to the forest floor, where those shallow roots can efficiently pick up to 500 gallons of water a day. The largest trees in the survive. Now, who is that you're stealing tonight now? From his perspective, he looks to the left-hand side of the train. You'll see absolutely nothing. But now you know the left and right-hand side of the train. Congratulations. I'll be referencing that to not get the memo. Please remain seated. Thank you. That didn't take long at all. I'm really good at this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're seated on the left-hand side of this train, you may want to have those video cameras ready. The next time you hear that whistle, our train will be crossing the sharpest curving passenger-carrying trestle in all North America. If you're on the left, you're going to have a great view. If you're on the right-hand side of this train, don't worry about it. You're going to have the exact same view. That's how that works. Wow. Now, one of the other things that makes this railroad so special, besides the fact that we operate steam locomotives every single day here, which is almost crazy, is the fact that this is a narrow gauge railroad. So that means the train tracks we're going on right now are only 3 feet apart from each other. And this is a lot. Please remain seated, bud. Thank you. Alright. Looks like I'm about to go use my spear of influence. There you go. Our train tracks are only 3 feet apart from each other. This is a lot narrower than the modern American standard gauge of 4 feet 8.5 inches. Like Caltrain, Amtrak, Canadian Pacific, our beach train tracks down there to the right. Now this magic number of 4 feet. This magic number of 4 feet 8.5 inches for standard gauge railroads, rail distance, actually comes from the imprints left in the ground by those Roman chariots of the Roman Empire. They figured out a wheelbase that wide was just barely wide enough to fit 2 full-grown horses between the wheels of the chariots they had to pull. Back when they were first designing railroads in the late 1700s, well, they were still using horses. So this number just kind of makes sense. But later, once steam engines were invented by 1820, narrow gauge railroading became incredibly popular because, well, it's incredibly cheaper to do. With narrower train tracks, with narrower train tracks, wait, come on. Alright, I got a full-time job here. It's like herding cats. Alright, with narrower train tracks, makes your railroad cheaper. You don't gotta clear as much land to put your railroad down. You can also have tighter turns and steeper grades because your equipment's a little more nimble. What? Eventually, standard gauge railroading won the popularity contest out here in North America because those trains are a lot wider with the wider train tracks, making it easier for them to haul more freight. But this also makes those trains much heavier. Much heavier. Because of that, well, they can't really climb those too well. In fact, the steepest grade I've ever seen a standard gauge train climb personally was only about a 3% grade. But that's a cool number, but when the world is a beat, well, I'll tell you, that's my job. For every 100 feet the train travels forward, it'll also be gaining 3.5 feet of elevation. So 3.5 feet up, over 100 feet distance traveled, that's a 3.5% grade. That's how you measure grades, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to algebra.
Oh, now you're trying,
Sorry. We're here on this narrow gauge railroad with our very special all-wheel drive gear-driven steam-powered 1912 Shea locomotive we consider 3% unique. Well, pretty much flat. Because as we make this next right-hand turn, our little train's about to start climbing at 8.5% grade, which is incredibly steep for a train. It's also pretty steep for a metro. If you listen to that locomotive, you'll hear it making all sorts of strange, concerning sounds as it struggles to pull us up this mountain. But if you listen very carefully, you may just barely hear that locomotive chanting, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, right up this hill. Check out that locomotive right now. Now look at me way down here, wave my arm around. Hey, you can show your faces again. Good morning. That locomotive is about 25 feet higher in elevation than I'm currently standing at the end of this train. That's almost 3 stories of difference, ladies and gentlemen. This is an 8.5% grade. You still don't believe me? Just look at the angle that these redwood trees are growing in conjunction to your rail car. We're pretty much going right up the side of a mountain right now. But while you're checking that out, please take a moment to get your tickets out. Dun, dun, dun. That's right, it's ticket time. Uh-oh. So please get that ticket out of your pocket, out of your backpack, out of your wallet, wherever you put it. Please have your ticket out and ready. And I'll be right with you to confirm you're on the right train or kick you off. Please have your tickets ready. Thank you.
I'll call the train.
You have a ticket? Are they going to keep you off, cowboy? No freeloader.
If it hits me off, I'll
That's a good plan.
Oh, you got all the tickets here? Wow. Thanks for coming down, y'all. You on this guy too?
I'm on the wait list. Number 2. Number 2 on the wait list.
Oh, okay, cool.
Get all 4 cameras. Gonna let it fly out. All the Legos in the world, all the happy dogs in the world.
Oh, it's a Lego cat. Oh, like actual live animals? Your parents think you want a Lego cat as well. Maybe that's a little like...
Until they die.
Oh, baby, now it's definitely fighting my head.
Basically, you're like
I just want to jump down there. Yeah, just fly around. Yeah, I just want to jump down there. That is a perfect place to jump for.
Our little train is now approaching a location on this railroad known as Spring Canyon. Spring Canyon used to be the home of our famous corkscrew trestle system, which is a really fancy name for not one but two wooden trestles that actually crossed over each other while forming a giant loop-de-loop. Back when the trains were long enough, the locomotive at the front of this train
I should be Lego.
passed right over this last car,
I should be
with
Lego.
both of them being on different trestles. You don't know what a trestle is? It's a bridge. It is supported along this entire length, that's all. Now the system worked great at gaining elevation. It only had a ruling grade of about 6%. But unfortunately, this all came to a halt in 1976 when a group of misguided individuals came on down to our little railroad without doing their research. They took one look at this recreation of the logging railroad and thought that we were actually logging, which we have done here. They then doused both our trestles in gasoline and lit them from the bottom, resulting in a 300-foot fireball that rose above the redwood forest canopy that burned for 3 days straight. Now, once both those fires were extinguished, well, both of our trestles out here were deemed as complete losses. As you're about to see, because, with this standing piece of charcoal in the woods. Now, this presented Rowan Camp with a pretty interesting problem. That problem being we can no longer get trains up or down this mountain, because someone had literally burned our bridges.
It's your favorite one now?
To make matters worse, there was a train stuck to the top of this hill when those fires were started, and we had to get all the passengers off the mountain with a pickup truck. It was madness, so I learned. But once all that madness was over, our track crew from 1976 decided to bypass these burnt-down trestles by building what's known as a switchback in this area. But thanks to the geography here in Spring Canyon, that switchback had to be a little steep. But our track crew back in 1976 was a little overconfident that our geared logging locomotives could make it up any hill we threw at them. So they didn't take any measurements the whole time they built it, because they knew everything, right? Well, after 6 months of construction on the switchback to our right, when they finally completed it, was exactly when they found out that they had accidentally built the steepest pair of narrow gauge train tracks in this entire continent. Whoops. That's right. It's a 10.5% grade. Now we're about to go up fully loaded. Completely backwards. That's right, backwards. Making roaring town the most backwards railroad you'll ever ride. So please remain seated. With this hill to our right being as steep as it is, it usually takes this train about 2 or 3 attempts to make it up this hill. It's really steep, we might start slipping and stall out. If that happens and our engineer catches it quick enough, you guys, those little sand hoppers. You look at the back of the steam engine, either side of the number 1, you'll see these black hoppers. They're actually full of sand. If the locomotive starts slipping, the engineer catches it quick enough, he's got a little air valve which will dump sand out of those hoppers and guiding pipes to the head of the rail, right in front of the rear wheel of the locomotive. That sand will then crush underneath the locomotive's weight to give us just a little bit more traction. Sometimes it's enough to barely make it up this hill. Please remain seated, hold on tight. Prepare to hear and see the hardest working steam locomotive in this entire continent as we attempt to push this 120-ton train of a 10.5% grade with a 42-ton locomotive. Yesterday, the first trip took 4 attempts to make it up this hill. This is 1880s technology, ladies and gentlemen. It gets really bumpy sometimes and usually when you least expect it. This applies to small children too, because small children fly the furthest. This ain't no Amtrak train, ladies and gentlemen. Now remember your poor engineer and your fireman, Doug and George up there in the cab. Right now they're sitting about 4 feet from the fire. They're reaching at 2,750 feet. As the ambient temperature inside the cab of that little steaming to a nice comfortable 120 to 160 degrees all day long. So keep that in mind if you're going up this 10.5% free passenger train. It is literally made for your engine. Appreciate it if you did. It looks like we're actually going to make this one try. Let's give those 4 guys up there in the cab a nice round of applause. They're working really hard. They're pretty sweaty too. They appreciate it too. That's actually pretty cool. Now in just a moment, we're going to roll into Hallelujah Junction. You may notice a whole bunch of sand around the train on both sides covering green moss. The reason why there's so much sand out here is because this is actually attractive beachfront property right here. From about 3 million years ago. When they dug out this switchback, they kept finding fossils in all this sand, like shark's teeth, mollusk shells, and remains of an entire shark pterodon. So look close, you can go spot yourself a shark's teeth too. Or even better, a banana slug. That's right, they like to hide in the little crevices of the sand beneath that green moss. Big burrow in the dryer. Now with this large triangular shape, 181 acre piece of property we're riding our train through today, never being blocked, it's home to a whole bunch of cute little fuzzy woodland critters that like to scurry away from this giant yellow snake we're all riding right now. Critters like foxes, squirrels, skunks, raccoons. We also have North America's only marsupial on this lovely piece of property. I'm talking about those humble, happy little possums. There we go. Ew, possums. Hear me out here. Possums are actually pretty amazing little critters. Because of their lower body temperature, it's nearly impossible for possums to contract rabies. Possums also eat fleas and ticks. They keep those populations under control in the wild. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like fleas, ticks, or rabies, which you shouldn't, then maybe you should be a little nicer to North America's only marsupial, those possums. I think they're pretty amazing. Because if you feel you'll have a great overview of the Switchbacks and burn down Trestles from the technique listen. And don't worry, right-hand side. We'll point all this stuff out to you guys on the way down the hill. Now the coastal redwood species in this particular valley has survived above the dirt for 2,200 years. That's the tree itself. That's older than the calendar we're using. Well, that's actually nothing compared to the roots on these trees. The roots of the coastal redwood species are actually the oldest living things on the planet Earth. They can survive up to 10,000 years in the dirt. Now, how this works with the roots living longer than the tree itself, with all these little sprouts you'll see growing around the base of the tree tree out of the dirt and sticking at. You see a whole bunch of little sprouts growing in a circle around these trees. Those sprouts are the root system of that tree, getting ready for that tree to get to its maturity, fall over, and die. Once this occurs, the roots send all their energy to those sprouts, which will quickly mature into a small circle of redwood trees, known as the cathedral grove. After 2,200 more years, it happens again. The roots send up a circle of sprouts on the outside of that first small circle of trees. That first small cathedral grove will fall over, and the roots will mature into sprouts, making a slightly larger cathedral grove. And will keep repeating for 10,000 years until the roots die. After 9,000 years, you're eventually left with a gigantic cathedral grove, large enough to host a wedding, just like I'm about to show you. This is actually how redwood trees reproduce about 85% of their time through their roots. But they're kind of going to be careful, because they're actually producing genetic copies of each other when they do this. All those trees in those circles, the exact same genetic. This is dangerous because all the trees in this entire forest reproduce through their roots alone. Well, all it would take is one seed to knock out this entire forest, which is bad. So to help create genetic biodiversity, these marvelous trees grow from seeds about 15% of the time. That's 1/5. The reason why this percentage is so small has to do with all these dead leaves and sticks on the forest floor around us. This thick layer is known as dust, spelled D-U-F-F, just like Homer Simpson's trademark beverage. This thick layer of dust makes a great difference. Dust makes it incredibly difficult for those tiny seeds to get into this dirt. So these trees get help from fire. Fire rips through a piece of property like it. The first thing to do is burn all this stuff off the ground. Exposing the soil any nitrogen it gives you makes it very fertile. Then that fire will take out any invasive plant species that are taking up valuable real estate on the forest floor. Then the fire comes back to the trees and the roots will get pieces. Once those trees are gone, makes the forest floor a whole lot healthier. But also clean up sunlight, protecting the forest floor. Finally, this is the trees as a river cone system of the forest. However, relying on fire and species cause when you're a tree can get a little dangerous, right? You can't really run from the fire in a tree unless you're at the Lord of the Rings. That's some weird stuff I don't really want to get into. Luckily, the coastal redwood species has been existed on this planet for over 240 million years. For those of you that are hip on history, that means the redwood species was on this planet before dinosaurs ever even existed. And they've been here ever since. So if you imagine T-Rexes running around behind these trees, you would not be too far off from the actual scene. Pretty cool, huh? In this time, these trees have adapted to overcome fire. One of the ways they do this is through their incredibly spongy bark. So the frogwolf did everything. They would soak in that bark like a sponge. Insulate the inside of the tree. So they extremely the forest fire. Now, on some of these larger trees, that bark can be a whole foot thick. Now, to use that thick, spongy bark contained in the lumber of the coastal redwood tree is a very expensive compound that makes these trees worth an obscene amount of money. It's called tannic acid. Tannic acid makes redwood lumber fire resistant, rot resistant, termite resistant, and makes the lumber look red. That's why they call them redwoods. For all these reasons, these trees are worth a lot of money. And for that exact reason, when the loggers saw these gigantic ancient coastal redwood trees stretching as far as the eyes could see in the late 1800s, they didn't really see natural beauty. All they saw was giant dollar signs. And by 1920, they had successfully clear cut 95% of all the old growth redwood trees.
It was so open, and that is the perfect way. The eyes fly out of the forest.
Today, which is the main reason why this piece of property is so special. It has nothing to do with the trains and the health. Mainly because this forest has been standing there for over 2 million years unbothered, untamed by man. It'll be hard-pressed to find another piece of property as wild and uncut as this.
It's only your bad for that one.
Now, just because this is a recreation of a you saw earlier, we actually have steeper grades and sharper turns than any actual logging railroad that ever really existed. Forcing us here, roaring kids, to push these antique locomotives to their full potential every single day here. That's not uncommon for a tourist railroad or a museum. Most places that run trains like this have one steam engine that barely operates. That's highly polished. That only comes out of the shop 3 times a year if you're lucky. That all the crews fight over who gets to operate it. That ultimately breaks down and ends up getting pushed around by a modern diesel locomotive on a collaborative railroad all day long. Yeah, this ain't one of those places. Not by a long shot, but you can probably tell I used to work for
So you hate me, guys.
this here's living history. These antiques every day being sent to the areas I could do. The mills over 109 years ago. Because of this, it's a wonderful gesture for a modern locomotive. We really like it. It may not be the most polished piece of equipment you've ever seen or heard in your entire life. But it's gonna get us to the top of this mountain. We've done over 100 years. Wyken. Try to realize what rail car you're sitting in. There are 6 cars in this train. And on the 6th car, you all sorts of options. What car are you in? What side of the car you want? And where in that car you see it? The reason why I like to memorize your spots, so please yourself.
That boy.
No. Here for whistle blast on this train. This exact same thing right now. This train is passing. There's nothing moving around there. Will not be enough spots.
You just had tons of pretzels. I'm so hungry.
In just a moment, we're going to cruise right by that 9,000-year-old cathedral grove on the left. So I'll tell you that now. Try to pay attention to the branches as we pass it. The outside of the circle, that's because we see back to where we're standing in the circle. And it's always like the middle. So what we do is branches to the outside. Wanderers got reminded of the vaulted ceilings of the cathedrals and the churches at the top. This is why we have the beautiful grove. Because you won't find it. There's also a 6,000-year-old grove up there on the top of the hill behind that second wheelchair sign, and a public restroom for emergencies only. But please wait for one whistle blast. There you go. Welcome to...
Do you see all these trees? The circle? The cathedral of trees? I like these. I'm going to take you a picture. Angle it up a little bit. You can come over here. You, no. Right here in the middle. Right there, you do that.
I want to get mine has a portrait one.
All right, those seats face out.
She's missing the train just around this right-hand turn up here.
Wake her up.
Take her back to sleep. I still remember having Ocean in her carrier. She just like sat.
We just blew up. No, we didn't. That's called a blowdown, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you about that when you're a little older. About 20 minutes from now, to be exact. Alright, here comes the view. Look for the small break in the trees on the left-hand side. Stare at it for as long as you can. In a few moments, though, you may see me on the left-hand side of the train on the ground, staring at the other side of these train cars as you roll by me. While I'm doing what's known as a roll-by inspection. Anytime a train passes by a railroad employee, it's common courtesy to visually inspect all the safety appliances of that train as it goes by. And that's exactly what I'll be doing because it's all pretty silly if everything is nice. The reason why I'm going to be on the ground, though, is because I got to wait for our whole train to go by me so I can reset the train tracks for this big circle we just passed through so we go the right way after this trip. Works out better that way. So try not to get offended if I don't wave howdy at you as you roll by me here in a moment, because I really want to. Just making sure we're all safe. But I still got to get up there to the front of the train, so if you want to wave at me while I'm doing that, you totally can.
Hey! Good to see y'all.
A gentleman by the name of Joseph Welch bought this piece of property with the intention of clear cutting. He was going to chop down all these trees, but just before he did, he decided he wanted to show his wife how beautiful these ancient trees out here really are. So he sent his wife a letter. Her name was Anna Welch. Anna received that letter in San Francisco, upon which she hopped on a horse-drawn buggy and embarked on a 3-day journey to get to here from San Francisco. Now, on that 3-day journey, she passed through a bunch of pieces of property that had already been clear cut. So basically, she was passing through a bunch of desolate wastelands for 3 days straight. So as you can probably imagine, when she arrived on this property, it saw the ancient coastal redwood. Anna Welch thought it was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen in her entire life. Now, her husband Joseph told her about his intentions. Chop them all down. Well, I didn't go over too well, no. In fact, Anna Welch got off the cross with him and said something along the lines of, "It's a shame I got chopped down this day. That is that Joseph Welch. Listen to his wife. Yeah. Take note, gentlemen. And thanks to Anna, all these trees were spared for future generations. Now, the Welch family still actually owns this piece of property, ladies and gentlemen. No, they have nothing to do with the grape juice company or the fruit snacks they made them. In 1959, our founders signed a lease agreement with the Welch family, allowing us access to their beautiful property for 100 years. To build this recreation of a logging railroad to showcase their fabulous trees to lovely people just like you. So thanks for coming on down and keeping the dream alive, ladies and gentlemen. Without the help and support of fabulous people like you, we wouldn't be able to continue the history and roll at all. Now, if you're on the right-hand side of this train, you know where you are. You're going to want to look down that hillside that's coming up in about 30 seconds. Because if you do, you'll have a great overview of the switchback system and the burned down trestles from above. If you're on the left-hand side of this train, it's your turn to look for a banana slug. Now, coastal redwood trees are fire resistant, but they are not fire-proof. If fire dwells at the base of the coastal redwood tree long enough, eventually the fire will work its way through the soggy bark at the base of that tree all the way to the hardwood, following out that tree at its core to its base. And luckily, this will not kill the redwood. It actually triggers the bark at the base of that tree to start forming incredibly thick scar tissue to help support the tree now that it does not have a solid core. This gives the base of that tree a taper, meaning the tree will get thicker as it gets closer to the dirt below it. Now, redwood trees do not normally grow with a taper unless they have been through an extreme forest fire. So, the next time you see a tapered redwood tree, you already know two things about it. One, it's completely optional, and two, it's been through an extreme forest fire. Now, the last fire that went through here was about 150 years ago. If you look at most of these trees, you can still see burn scars. Anyway, the redwood tree looks black at all. It's burn scars from the last forest fire. Now, in a moment. What's that? Ladies and gentlemen, our train's going to have to make a quick stop. Please remain seated. Gauge train tracks in this entire continent. So hold on tight, ladies and gentlemen. This can become the roller coaster portion of our ride. Woo! Did I get you? Gotta keep you awake somehow. underneath the end of the high trestle on the other side of this shallow valley brook. The old train tracks and hit that little shelf of dirt you can see across from us on the right-hand side where the train tracks are actually still located. Because we actually never removed them. Because we're actually a little lazy. The train tracks then made a sharp right-hand turn and passed over the current train tracks we're using right now, just about where this last car in this train is going to stop moving, so crossed over. So now on the left-hand side of us, they continued on that sharp right-hand turn on that flat spot above us on the left, all the way to the high trestle on the left, but went over this whole valley once again, forming the giant. And we've dug this out as far as we can. With that being said, this stretch of track right here is the limiting factor of this railroad. We can only fit 6 cars and 1 locomotive on this track to go up that 10.5% grade. But honestly, I don't really think we can push anything else up that hill, because there it's when they cross over. So low bridge to the high bridge, around us to the high bridge, and over. If you'd like to see any photographs of this absolutely insane operation, you totally can. Because we've totally built a little museum here that has absolutely no signage at all. So you kind of got to know about it, which you all now do. This little museum is just to the left of the general store. And there's a whole cabinet dedicated to photographs of these trestles. So a bunch of other neat stuff in there you should totally check out too, because it's totally worth it. Because ladies and gentlemen, it's totally free. So check it out. If you got extra time, it's definitely worth it. You know what? Now, did any of you ever watch the old movies when they're portraying the Old West or maybe the Old East, building those railroads by hand across America, using nothing but hand tools and extreme amounts of manual labor to do it? Well, you already know exactly the way to maintain this little railroad here. This is 19th century technology, meaning we made modern time equipment for this kind of setup. So the next time you're watching one of those old corny Western movies, you can think of us, 4 employees here at Roaring Camp Railroads. I did get to cancel my gym membership though. Say it's been $2. That's because work like this keeps you as thin as a rail.
Ah, get it?
Hey, now one of the tools we use to work on the train tracks are known as a spike ball. It is a 10-pound sledgehammer with a 4-foot handle. The faces of the hammer itself are extended out like 8 inches on both sides and only about an inch wide. So a lot lost you in there, that's alright. This tool looks exactly like a giant capital letter T. T as in train. Now this tool is used to drive the railroad spikes into the wooden ties to hold the rail in place. But to do this, man, you gotta swing this giant hammer behind you, bring it up and over your shoulder, and bring it straight down in front of you with extreme amounts of force. But more importantly, accuracy. Accuracy, that's right. Because if you're off by just a few millimeters, left, right, front, or back, and you bring the giant hammer down on that tiny little railroad spike, man, you're gonna shoot that thing out of Mach 3 into your coworker's shin. That'd be also pretty cool stories to prove this. Now, the first time you ever handed a spike ball, it's an impossible tool to use. You're swinging that thing wildly. You can't hit a thing. Your coworkers are laughing at you and pointing at you. And you're looking at them as if they were superhuman. And how in the world are they actually swinging that giant hammer with such force and accuracy? Well, after a couple of years of practice with this horrible tool, unfortunately which I've had, eventually, you get the swing of it. Hey, nailed it.
I'll be here all day.
Yeah, I will. Did you warn me this was the code of punish step? That's what we did. Sorry. But don't worry, it's not much longer left for this trip. Just keep an eye out for the ROUS. She knows.
I don't do big.
Roads of unusual sizes, you know. No, you don't gotta be crazy to work here, ladies and gentlemen. They'll train you. Our lovely little train is now approaching a very special tree that's leaning over the railroad track at a 45-degree angle. You can imagine it's his biggest special tree out here. Leaning tree. And every time the trees pass by, we all have our own weird rituals to keep them from leaning over and blocking this railroad. So watch your engineer dead right now. That's the guy on the right. There he goes. Just gave that tree a high five. What a weirdo. I personally the Grizzly Flats crossing. You'll hear that long, long, short, long, and Morse code. Yeah. We've got about 5 seconds to go. Video cameras handy. So the next time you hear that whistle, well, our train will be crossing the sharpest curving passenger-carrying trestle in all of North America once again, giving all of you on the right-hand side an opportunity to get a cool video, just like the left-hand side had earlier. Please remain seated for the remainder of this trip, and in particular on Trestle. It's 210 feet long. It's also 42 feet tall. It's a little difficult to stick the landing at 42 feet in the air. I know guys are trying to keyword there doesn't move, so please don't wait. There's a whole bunch of random minerals that used to be in the water that got left behind as the water evaporated out of that pot, right? Sounds familiar? Well, the same thing occurs to a steam locomotive, especially after you boil away 700 gallons of water like we just did going up and down this mountain. It leaves a whole lot of random minerals at the bottom of that locomotive's boiler that really mess up that steam engine really bad. So to help clean out all those minerals, the boiler on that locomotive is equipped with a very special valve, known as a blow-down valve. It's basically a large hole at the lowest point in that locomotive's boiler. That's where all the sediment likes to build up in the low spot. And when our fireman George opens up this blow-down valve, it lets a whole bunch of water and steam jet out of the side of the boiler with 200 pounds of pressure behind it, taking all that sediment right out of the boiler. We're going to keep going forward here a little bit further. You're then going to hear that long, long, short, long on the whistle as we cross a trail. Ignore that. Right after, though, you'll hear 2 short whistle blasts. And those 2 short whistle blasts are a great cue for all of you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the cleanest ducks and turtles in the entire western United States. That's right, we steam clean them here. And they love it until they get too close, then they become the crew lunch. And with that part of piece of information, on behalf of our engineer Doug on the whistle, your fireman George on the bell and blow down, and your conductor Charlie on the annoying voice. I'd like to thank you all for coming on down to this. I hope y'all enjoyed this trip and maybe even learned something. If you did, remember, it is Charles Day to adventure. This is Roaring Camp Railroad. Sounds like this. Oh, yep, we got ducks on the track. Ducks got angry at us for blowing down on them. Stop the train, they're gonna rob us. The great duck heist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we roll up to this old train station here, please remain seated. We gotta line up this antique steel locomotive perfectly with that old water tower so we can fill it up with another 700 gallons of water for the next trip.
No, not for you.
That was really good.
Don't confuse people, they might stand up.
Alright, wait for that whistle blast, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost there. There it is. Welcome on back to work.